guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Lee. Welcome if this is your first time here. Before we start today's practice, I ask that you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment when we're done with this practice. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how you liked it, any feedback, or any future videos that you might like to see. Go ahead and turn on your notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new class. I'm excited to share with you that our YouTube page now has a Patreon where you can support this growing channel along with many other benefits, all the way from weekly newsletters to private one-on-one online classes with me. So I'll have that link down below to my Patreon page where you can check it out. Let's come to lying flat on your mat into a mini Shavasana, except we'll have the legs together. And start drawing your right knee up towards the center of your chest. You can interlace your palms around your knee, just closing your eyes and settling into this practice. Allow your feet to relax, your ankles, and draw the knee up and in as you ground your entire spine, including your lower back. Feel your shoulders grounded, the back of your head. And keep pulling up and in with each breath. Feel free to keep your eyes closed throughout this entire practice if that feels good, if you're feeling like going a little more inward, or maybe opening them up if you would like to wake up or have some energy from your practice. Moving slowly, we'll release the hands, coming into a half happy baby. You can either wrap your peace fingers around those big toes or wrap your hand around the outer edges of your foot, bending the knee to the outer edge of your mat, drawing it down towards your armpit. Now, if your hips are feeling really tight, you might notice that your knee is way off from the ground, and that's fine. Just keep working with each breath, drawing it down a little closer. Now on this top foot, we're keeping that active flex. Your bottom foot can be relaxed, pointed, whatever feels comfortable on that left foot. Awesome. Now, if you have your foot binded on the outer edge, go ahead and wrap the pointer and middle finger around your big toe, or if you have a strap near you, go ahead and wrap it around your foot. Coming into Supta Parangustasana, start lengthening your right leg up towards the sky. Maybe keeping a slight bend in that right knee if you need to. And again, with each breath, working on lengthening your entire leg. Now you might notice that that right shoulder is coming off the ground at this time. That's fine. With each breath, start drawing that shoulder back as your leg lifts up overhead. Option to stay here, this Parangustasana, or come in and out of Happy Baby and Supta Parangustasana. We'll do this movement about 3 times. Sinking each breath. Whether you're in movement or in stillness, go ahead and bend that right knee back down towards your chest. Interlace your fingertips, big breath. Exhale, extend your right leg. And let's shake it out a bit. Now you notice that both sides of your body feel extremely different right now. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and even it out. Draw that left knee up towards the center of your chest. Wrap your arms around, ground it down. Relax the entire spine. Relax your shoulders, your neck. Start moving slowly towards that half happy baby, even using your strap here if you'd like to. Take your bind with that left hand, whether that be around your big toe or around the outer edges, and draw your knee down. And use that right hand to keep that right hip grounded. Try leveling out your entire body as if it were in one straight line. Supta Parangustasana, go ahead and change your hold to loop around your big toe if it isn't already. Start to lengthen out your leg, straightening that knee as much as you can. Pulling it towards the back of the mat, towards your face. Three movements to stay in stillness or come in and out of half happy baby. Gently start bending that left knee back down, squeeze it in, and slowly extend that left leg out. Shake the knee out. We're coming into my favorite hip opener of all time. I find it to be really relaxing. If you have really tight hips, that might not be the case. We'll go ahead and try it. We'll bend the knees in, heels close towards the glutes, and then start to open the knees wide towards the edges of the mat. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose. Welcome gravity to open up the hips as you ground your sacrum towards your mat, towards the earth. Go ahead and play with your hand placement if you want to keep the palms by the hips, maybe assisting yourself, helping yourself come a little closer towards the ground. Maybe it feels good to place the palms on your belly, possibly one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Feel your belly rising and falling, expanding and contracting as you breathe deeply. Notice how each asana you come into allows you to dive a little deeper, allows you to feel a little more opened, a little more relaxed. release the hands wherever they're at, bringing them underneath the knees and assisting yourself in bringing the legs together. We'll take the feet wide apart, start swaying the knees side to side, as close as they can come towards the floor. Maybe find a slight twist in that lower back. We'll come to center, drawing the knees in, wrapping your hands by your hamstrings, and just start to rock forward. We'll roll over the ankles and step those knees back into a wide-legged child's pose. So opening the knees as wide as you can, whether that's as wide as the mat or maybe a little beyond that. We'll drape the upper body forward, relax your forehead down. And keep this child's pose active. Press through the palms and ground your hips towards your heels. Reaching those fingertips forward, opening through the armpits, through the heart, through the shoulders. Moving as slow as you can. Start to walk the hands back towards the hips, lifting the torso up to a seated position. If you have a blanket near you, go ahead and grab that. If you have really sensitive knees, this is really important for you to have nearby. We're coming into frog pose, Bakasana. So we'll be keeping the knees wide, coming forward onto your forearms. And then we want to align the feet with the knees. So the heels are directly behind the knees, feet are actively flexed, and we're working on drawing the sacrum back in line with those knees, forming a straight line from knee to knee. If the pose becomes too intense at any point, I invite you to deepen your breath, to elongate it from a count of 2 to a count of 3 to a count of 4. Redirecting any uncomfort towards your breath. You'll notice that your knees start to slide outwards. Try your best to surrender here and allow the movement to happen. Take 3 more deep breaths. Moving slowly, start to point your toes and bring them inwards towards the center of your mat. And we'll lift ourselves up, coming into a tabletop position, moving really slowly here. I know that was a huge hip opener. Just gently sway those hips side to side. Meeting in the center, finding a neutral spine. We'll take pigeon on the right side. Slide your right knee up towards that right wrist. Left ankle towards the left wrist. And we'll go ahead and slide that left leg back. So here I really like to make sure the alignment is correct. You want to just take a moment to look back and make sure that back leg is coming from directly behind your hip. So once you find your alignment, decide where you want that heel placement. The more further away it is from your body, the deeper you're gonna feel it in your hips. So kind of gauge where you're at right now. We'll flex the front foot. Big breath, lengthen through your spine. Exhale. Start to walk your fingertips out. And something I often see in students is that you'll start to roll off to the right side, which is the side where your knee is bent, kind of to alleviate the sensation that you're experiencing in your hips, which is fine if you need to do that, if you need to take a little break. But just know that when you're rolling off to the side, you're not really getting the intention of the pose. You're not going to receive the benefits of it. So go ahead and maybe roll off if you need to take a little break, if you need to alleviate your hips, and when you're ready, just roll back to the center, maybe a little bit even towards the left side, towards that flexed foot. Have 3 more breaths here, staying up on the forearms or maybe extending the arms entirely in front of you for the deepest stretch. Wherever you chose to be, start to walk the hands back, propping yourself up. Now this time we're going to purposely roll off to the right side. Let's swing that back leg around to the front. We're bending that left knee. We're going to come into Gomukhasana, cow face legs. So we're trying our best to align the knees in one straight line here. And you might have to lift the hips and kind of shimmy around until the knees are as aligned as they can be. I actually had someone tell me that what helps them is to kind of picture crossing your legs when you really have to go to the bathroom until you get yourself in that pose. Option to stay here, working on elongating the spine and rooting the sit bones down, or start to walk the hands forward, coming to a fold at your hips. You might want to tuck the chin to the chest, maybe resting the head on that top knee. And if you're in a complete fold, ground the palms onto the mat and actively press your hips down. Take 3 more breaths. If you're in that fold, go ahead and bring yourself up, stacking those shoulders over the hips, and gently sway that top leg back into a pigeon. We'll draw that right knee back towards your tabletop. Go ahead and sway your hips side to side. I feel my entire right side a little bit sore here, so if you feel that too, don't worry, that's normal. Pigeon on the left side. Let's draw the left knee in. Bring that foot out and slide the right leg back. Take a moment, check your alignment. Find your gauge with your left heel, either drawing it in or extending it out for a bit more of a challenge. Big breath in, lengthen your spine. Exhale out, fold forward. Staying in the center. If you've rolled off to the left side, draw yourself back in. Three more breaths, either to stay where you're at or collapse entirely, fingertips walking out. Start to bring yourself back up. And we'll swing that right leg around to the front, bending the top knee. We'll stack the knees over one another. It's normal if your hips are really tight for your knee to be entirely up. Maybe you can't necessarily stack it over at this time, which is fine. You can stay here, maybe even place a block underneath that top knee for some support. So we'll find that alignment, shimmying out the hips, grounding them down. Work on lengthening through the spine or folding forward, hinging at your waist. Making this an active fold. Ground through your palms and press those hips back and down. Last breath in this pose. And walk yourself up. Beautiful. Now instead of coming back into that pigeon pose, we're just going to unwind here, uncrossing the legs, stepping the feet in front, bringing them out wide, and we'll take some windshield wipers. Drop your knees side to side. Come to our last pose to surrender here, the opening of our hips. We'll bring the bottom of the feet to touch, knees wide. Bound angle pose, this time sitting upright instead of reclined. Draw your heels in as much as you can. And we'll grab the hands, opening the feet like a book. Spine nice and long. Draw your shoulders out, puff your chest out. Exhale, start to fold forward. Before you start to round your spine, just try to reach your heart as forward as you can while still keeping that straight spine. And once you can't keep it straight any longer, you can go ahead and drop the head down, drawing your chin in towards your chest. And your hands can stay wrapped around your feet, or your fingertips can come out in front of you, pulling forward. Start to lift up. We'll take some butterfly flutters here, bringing the knees up and down. Then we'll come to stillness. Assist your knees in coming up with your hands. And we'll keep the hands wrapped around the knees here. Keep a long spine. We'll take an inhale, draw the chest out, lift your head up. Exhale, round your spine, press it back, chin towards your chest. Inhale. Heart forward, gaze high. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest, pull back. Do one last seated cat-cow. Take an inhale to a straight spine. Cross the ankles. Draw the palms together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra.